Alright lads, so round 3 of the Untold Stories is coming back tomorrow, featuring the original version of Kenpachi and Retsu, and is this the banner that you want to go for if you're trying to go after these characters? And we talked about it in the past. A couple days ago, we did post our returning banner video where we broke down all the characters that should be returning in the month of October, and we can see our first example of that here with the Untold Stories round 3 banner. The banner itself will be available from tomorrow at 8 in the morning for me in the UK, and it will last until the 13th, which does mean the second this banner does leave is when the mid-month banner is going to be getting announced. Not that it really matters, mid-month banners are hardly ever better than end-of-month banners, but it's just something worth mentioning. Now, before we start breaking down the banner, I do want to quickly just give my personal opinion at the start of the video. I do think this banner should be an easy skip. If you are someone that potentially wants these two characters, Kenpachi and Retsu, fan favorites, I understand why you might want them. You can go for them, but the banner itself isn't the greatest. The fillers, they're kind of just mediocre. They're going to come back multiple times than any other like Safui banner. So in my opinion, I think you're better off trying to go for Retsu and Kenpachi featured in a better banner with a new set of characters. So what exactly do we mean by that? Well, Kenpachi and Retsu are officially about to hit 1 year old. By the time they come back, they will be 1 year old. And what we have seen with round 1 of the Untold Stories and also round 2, the Shinji and Kisuke banner, is that they are now starting to appear as fillers for the new Spirits Are Forever With You banners. As of right now, we still have 5 Beyond Bankai captains to get, so that's potentially 2 more rounds to get, and that therefore means that this Retsu and Kenpachi is very likely, not confirmed though, to keep that in mind, but very likely are going to appear as fillers one day for either the 2-character Beyond Bankai banner or the potential final 3-character Beyond Bankai banner. And personally, as someone that potentially maybe wants to get these characters, I'd rather wait for them to be in a significantly better banner, because like I mentioned, this banner it's Retsu or Kenny or bust. You might want some of these characters, but they're going to be available back a lot of times in the future. So for the most part, for many people out there, it's going to be one of these 2 characters or bust, and that's a 1% pull rate. In a new Spirits Are Forever With You banner, your chance of getting something new is going to be 2%, because there's 2 new characters and also these 2 characters here, or it's going to be a 2.5% chance to get one of the 3 new characters or to get Retsu and Kenpachi. So personally, I would recommend most people to skip because they are about to hit the age where they are going to start becoming fillers in new Safui banners. But if you don't care about that, let's break down the characters. So what we can see is that we do have the Retsu and Kenpachi featured here. These are going to be your main targets, and alongside that we also have Cornfield round 9, which is Dordoni, Saruchi, and also Charlotte, and then we also have a random round 3 character, that being Stark, and then also Cornfield on world round 1 with Ikone, Grimjow, and also Neliel. The step up formula is going to be your usual banner, so step 1, 6, 11, 16, and 21 are going to be discounted at 150 orbs, and then step 2, 7, 12, 17, and 22 are going to be at 200 orbs. Your chance to put a featured character, which is one of these 9 characters here, is going to be a 4.5% chance, and then you have a 1.5% chance to get another 5-star character, including premium characters. And then as always, every 5th step you are guaranteed a featured character. And breaking down the characters, firstly let's start talking about Kenpachi. Now Kenpachi for the most part is going to be a brave battle orientated character. That's what he's mainly designed, and while it's true he does come with guard break, therefore meaning you can use him in normal PvE content, personally I've never really used him outside of brave battle at all, because most of the skills what this character wants to do is in brave battles. Now brave battles, this is where the character really does shine, as he does come with paralysis and also weaken duration. That's actually really good. Right now the only character in the meta that actually inflicts status limits is actually Yuha, and Yuha does inflict paralysis, and that can be a game changer if Yuha does inflict paralysis. So Kenpachi being immune to that is always great to begin with. Then he also does come with Flurry plus 2, so he does have a pretty high damage output as far as brave battle characters do go. Poise, last ditch survival 100%. He goes through brave battle invincibility, countering any invincible character in this meta. Does start off with 10 barriers, has brave battle counter, so when he does take damage, you're doing damage back to them, and he also does prevent last ditch survival. And that basically overall makes him a very good brave battle character, especially because he does have Captain Killer. He does fare well against most brave battle characters, however do keep in mind, despite him still being one of the better ones, you know, most of the characters that have come out in the last couple or so months since his release, Yuha, Oko, Kurashiki, and also Chad, on an even playing field, they are normally going to win the fights. But that's fine, because this character still does perform well, especially if you do get dupes of him, for example. You know, a 2 out of 5 Kenpachi definitely can be a 1 out of 5 Yuha, and at the same time, this Kenpachi was, for the most part, designed to be a direct counter to the Safui Yamamoto Yamamoto. So if you ever do see an Untold Stories Yamamoto running around in Brave battles, then you can just take out this Kenpachi and he's going to win majority of the time. Kenpachi's still a very good solid Brave battle character. Yes, there are better characters out there, but if you are someone that's trying to round up their Brave battle team with a good third character, Kenpachi is still going to be a great character to have. Again, the prevent last ditch survival is also great because it means if he does kill anyone, they're not reviving, and then he can just focus on the next opponent. And then we have Untold Stories version of Retsu, probably the entire prize of this banner. Now, I do want to say from the get-go, Retsu is by far one of the best technical characters in the game. She comes with the Hello Killer. She's a recharge character, so she does want to do damage on her strong attacks, and this is what makes this character stupid OP. For starters, she has a Frenzy +2 with a 20% Berserker, and also when at full stamina, she does 20% more damage. That right there, especially at the time of her release 10 months ago, was absolutely crazy. In addition to that, she also does have Drain and also Weakening on every single attack, tied to the fact that she has a great set of strong attacks, her SA1 being a 3000 length beam forward with the added width, her SA2 being a vortex type of attack, ensuring that she can easily inflict status movements, which again is going to allow you to do more damage and also heal back up to full HP, and then her SA3 is a charged strong attack with a heal move built into it. So that SA3, when fully charged, not only is it going to be doing a lot of damage because this character naturally has a lot of damage built into her, but she's also healing your entire team by 40%. This Retsu is almost immortal with the amount of heals she gets for herself and also your entire team. And then it gets better because she also does have Marauder. She has weakened defense, so her Soul Bomb then allows you to do more damage. And then when at full stamina, she also does reduce her strong attack cooldown by an additional 6%. But that's only when you're at full stamina, but as already demonstrated, Retsu can easily stay at full stamina without any struggle whatsoever. And that extra recharge allows for her strong attacks to come back. It means you can do more damage, but in the sense of using it at a point event, for example, if you saw my most recent 5 million point video, Retsu farms point events super easily, even when she doesn't have killer. Because her SA3 is a heal move, she'll basically never use that, and most of the time she's only ever going to focus on using her SA1 and 2, and that SA2, when at full stamina, comes back very, very quickly. So she's the best auto in the entire game, at least when it comes to point events. She clears it very, very fast. She's a very safe character, very hard-hitting character, has some great visuals, and overall, one of the more fun to play tech characters in the entire game. And between us lads, she is my favorite character in the entire game. So I can definitely vouch for this character. Retsu is the queen of this banner, and someone definitely worth pulling for. But again, as already mentioned, maybe not in a banner like this. But for those wondering, let's quickly break down the other characters. For starters, Dodoni is going to be a NAD-orientated character. Unfortunately, does not have guard break, which really limits his usability in normal PvE content. So for the most part, the most usage out of this particular character is going to be used in the merely Captain Guild quest, and at the same time, he is also a 20% DR link. So if you did pull Chad, then he's going to be a very good link for your new chat. After that, we have Saruchi, who is, for the most part, an IT-orientated character, but you very rarely ever see him being used because there's just better characters out there. But for those that do want to use an IT, you're going to want to use it in the Sorryper Inheritance Trials, and that's due to the fact that she has a increased chance of inflicting status elements against her attribute Sorrypers. All of her attacks do come with Lacerate, and when you do inflict Lacerate, you then do 40% more damage. So this particular character, most of her damage output is coming from inflicting status elements, which she does have an easy time doing when she has killer. But other than that, you're never really ever going to use the Saruchi unless you really do like her. The next character is going to be Charlotte, who unfortunately didn't really age the best. On his release, he was a really cool gimmicky character, given the fact that he did have weakened defense with weakening on his sword, which is a very rare combination at the time, which nowadays, you know, a year or two later, a lot of characters do have. And in addition to that, Charlotte also did have the debuff move, which would lower the enemy's attack, focus, and defense by 33%, therefore allowing you to again do more damage. So his whole thing was just more so being a character that can allow your team to do more damage, but because of his strong attack kit, because of the damage output he has inherently, he's nothing really special anymore. I pulled him on his release, and I actually really wanted to use him because I was interested to see what type of gimmicks he could do, but unfortunately, in practical use, it wasn't really that good. Next up, we have Stock, another SP-orientated character. He is a Technique Aranka with the Aranka kill ability. Now, most people that have played with this particular Stock do know that he has a great set of strong attacks. That's the best thing about this particular character. His strong attack range, his strong attacks in general are actually very good. However, the only thing he's lacking in is the damage output. Since he came out before characters started to get Frenzy +1 and also a Berserker value, this character doesn't really hit the hardest, especially when compared to some of the newer characters. But you know what, if you ever get dupes to this particular character and you do want to max transcend him, because he is still a cool character, you definitely can still use him. Even 1 out of 5 level 10 SP, he can be used if you enjoy this particular character. We don't have that many great OP Starks in the game right now, and this is pretty much the best one in the game in my opinion. At least the coolest one. And the same can be said for Hikone. Hikone has a great set of strong attacks, unfortunately lacking a bit on the range since he doesn't have Havoc, and he also doesn't have any Berserker value whatsoever, so you're mainly just coming down to the strong attacks and the mobility this character does have. And despite the fact that he came around 4 or so years ago, he still holds up decently well, but again, just you're going to be having a big problem with his range and also damage output. So he's a character that can be used, but just nothing too special. Same goes for Grimmjow. Grimmjow doesn't really have the best strong attack kit, doesn't really have a high damage output, so you're going to have a very hard time trying to use this character, maybe only in Sankmon, for example. And again, unfortunately, the same can be said for this Nellium. She is a normal attack damaging character with a very unique Nad string that basically sends it across the entire map. It's unfortunate that she's the only character in the game right now to have this built into the character. Yes, 1000 Year Blood or Yoruichi has it, but that's only when she's in the transformed state. This Nelliel though could be quite good if she was given Guardbreak and a Resurrection, which could happen sometime next year, but as of right now, usage is definitely very limited. However, I will say she is quite a fun auto character or even manual character for point events whenever there are technique or rank enemies. That's the only time I ever use this particular Nelliel, which is a shame because she looks great, she plays great. Unfortunately though, she just came out too early and she's lacking really critical skills to make her useful in normal PvE content. So with that said, lads, that was the breakdown for the Untold Stories Round 3 rerun featuring Kenpachi and Retsu. Again, overall, characters are great. Kenpachi and Retsu are great characters. More so Retsu, in my opinion, since she's a SP-oriented character. You're actually going to use her in normal PvE content, and you can use her in a lot of PvE content. It's just unfortunate that the banner itself isn't really the greatest with these particular fillers. Most of them are kind of just not useful whatsoever. So I recommend most people, if you have the patience, to wait for Retsu and Kenny to come back sometime in December, maybe even January, alongside a new set of Spirits of Overview characters. And that therefore means you have an overall higher chance to get something you want. In this banner, it's basically 1% for Kenpachi or Retsu or bust. But that's just how I personally see it. But with that said, hope you guys did enjoy the video. In the comments below, let me know if you are summoning on this banner. I know a lot of people, of course, love these two characters, myself included. I just think this isn't really the banner to be going down to 0 on. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.